Mrs. President, you have 9 board members present.
Thank you. I just wanted to say, prior to this, we did meet in executive session for personnel. Could I also have a motion for number 5, please?
I move that we approve the minutes of the regular board meeting held on October 1st, 2018.
I'll second it.
The motion was made by Mr. Gershi and then seconded by Mr. Hoke. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. Any abstaining? The motion does carry. A motion for number 6, please.
I move to accept the treasurer's reports for the general food service and student activities accounts for July, August, and September 2018.
I'll second.
The motion was made by Mr. Gregolski and then seconded by Mr. Wood. Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. And any abstaining? The motion does carry. Could I have a motion for approval of the bills, please?
I move for the approval of the bills for the general and food service accounts.
I'll second.
Again, the motion was made by Mr. Gregolski and then seconded by Mr. Wood. Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say no. And any abstaining? The motion does pass. Any questions on the accounting of taxes? Mr. Gregorski, student recognition?
Thank you, Madam President. We have 3 students we'd like to recognize tonight, and the first of which is a junior student by the name of Alex Featherman, and an award presented by Dr. Barrett.
Thank you, Mr. Gregorski. This past June, Alexander represented Western Wayne High School in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania at the Congress of Future Medical Leaders in Boston, Massachusetts. I'm delighted to present Alexander's official award of excellence, certifying his successful completion at the Congress. Congratulations, Alexander.
Congratulations, Alex. We also have 2 outstanding seniors we'd like to recognize, the first of which is Emily Christina. Emily is currently the senior class president. Emily is the daughter of Mark and Kendra Christina of Waymark, Pennsylvania.
Hi, I'm Emily. Thank you, board, for recognizing me. Thank you, mom and dad. And thank you to Ms. Svensenka and Ms. Carey and Ms. Carney. They really pushed me to be the best that I could be. Here at Western Wayne, I am a member of the soccer team, the basketball cheer team, and I was a member of softball. With soccer, I have been a part of the All-Star team, second team All-Star my sophomore year, and past 2 years on the first team All-Star team. I've also been the captain for the past 2 years, so it's my big one, my big strong point. I also have been a part of Northern Pocono Leadership Group, which is where we met, and each time we met, we learned about different things in Wayne County that really we don't know about, so I thought that was cool. Yeah, I'm part of student council, NHS, and my future plans include attending college to become an occupational therapist. Thank you.
Thanks, Emily. If we could have your parents stand to be recognized, please.
Go ahead.
Tonight we also have with us our student body president, that's Scott Smith. Scott is the son of Donna Smith of Lake Area.
Hi guys, thank you board, thank you staff, thank you guys. Here at Western Wayne, I've been a part of the football team for 4 years, the basketball team for 3 years, baseball team 1 year. I've volunteered with NHS on several occasions. My future plans are to attend a 4-year university studying criminal justice and then attend the police academy. Thank you guys.
Alex, I don't want to put you on the spot. Would you like to say a little bit about your experience?
Yeah, sure. So basically, it was a 3-day conference, and what we did there was we discussed like CRISPR, leadership, current medicine that's being advanced. We saw hysterectomy live, and you know, it's really prepping me and the other people that were at the conference for our future. And that was the main purpose of it.
That's great. So do you think you'll do the medical field?
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for.
Well, congratulations to all three of you. Again, it's just wonderful to see such students that come through with amazing results, and it just takes dedication and hard work. So congratulations to all of you. If you folks want to leave, you're more than welcome to avoid the pain. Again, congratulations.
Thank
Thank you for your time.
Is there anyone from the public that would like to speak? You're the only one, go
I
for
guess
it.
I will. I'm the only one here. I have a question. I'm not sure
If you don't
if,
mind, just state your name.
my name is Steve Russen.
Okay.
I'm not sure where I'm supposed to bring this to people's attention. I talked to the teachers about it during the open house. My son started 9th grade, and he has algebra, he's got science. He doesn't have any books. There's no algebra book, there's no science book. So I asked the teachers about it. His algebra teacher said that they haven't had new books in that class for 10 years. I don't know if that's, other people's, if it's different classes, have different books, or if they don't. But no one's able to give me an answer about why there's not books for these classes. Now, for me, books are very important, and there's no, it's not like they're using a book online, and he has a place to go for that. They're printing out worksheets and then filling it out in class. So if he makes a mistake, he's learning it incorrectly, and right now he's learning, sort of going over the basic foundations of math. So if he confuses something now, it's going to affect him for a long time. And like I said, there's not an online resource for him, and the whole deal. So let's say I had a perfect example of the problem today. I took him to the doctor's this morning, so he missed math. So he came home tonight, he's having a problem with his math homework because he wasn't in class today. So I sat down with him. Now, I have a degree in computer science, I've got a minor in math. It's not a big deal for me to do some basic algebra. But I don't know how they're learning it in class. I don't know if he should, if his answer should be negative infinity and infinity, or if he's going to get that incorrect when he brings it to school. And he has no way to look over anything chapter-wise to figure out what's going on. So I'm concerned with, you see around the school, they're pushing STEM. Obviously, I was in engineering at Penn State. It's very important to me. And I'm just wondering why there's no math books or science books for him. And I don't know, like I said, I don't know what the situation is in other math courses. I don't know if maybe next year if he's in Algebra 2, if there's a book there. I know all about, the changes in education and how expensive everything is. I just don't know how money gets appropriated for things like that.
We did have departments on a cycle for textbooks just to make it manageable, so we're not purchasing huge quantities of textbooks on a yearly basis. So
Right.
we did do that. A lot of the courses are going to an online textbook, and along with that, there are many resources to supplement the textbooks. Now, I can't speak to that class specifically. I know there are textbooks, but to the extent that the standards have changed over the past several years, to what extent they utilize them within the classroom might vary. But I can't answer your question specifically as to the algebra course or the science. Mr. Gregorski, I don't know if you have a better idea as to.
Yeah, I mean, there's several courses, including the algebra, that have, aligned to, the ever-changing standards, and, there's not a book that they're utilizing, what I mean, that is a take-home resource, but we know that the content and the information they're using is aligned to the most current and up-to-date standards.
Is that the problem, the standards just changing every year, or is it just that, like you said, you're buying them for certain grades,
We've been spacing it out within the department, and if there's a dire need within a certain area, we do make exceptions depending on the circumstances, but Yes, exactly.
And science is on the cycle for this year
Right.
currently. But again, we have to check for the algebra. Mrs. Donahue, do you?
Yeah, no, I know that we spoke of math, so our math curriculum K-8 is the same series, it's the Eureka program.
Right. Yeah, I know they've gone through that, and they have
Correct.
their workbooks. And,
The 9th through 12th, now algebra in the 8th grade and algebra in the high school are mirror images of, they teach the same concepts. Our teacher elects to use a combination of the text and also supplements with handouts and worksheets that you're referencing. I'd love to have a conversation afterward, after the meeting to be, a better resource for you.
yeah.
Should you need additional supports for your student.
Yeah, I don't, but I don't. It's, the problem is that if, I struggled with math my whole life, and if I hadn't had my book to go over when I got home, I don't know if I'd be doing what I'm doing now.
I think the intent with the online was for that purpose, that there would be something at home that parents would
Right.
help with. So
Yeah.
there's a breakdown somewhere.
Yeah, and there'd at least be something, I don't agree with the online version. I know things change and it's easier to do it online and screen and everything else. It's just that I worry about students saying, oh, I'm gonna get on and look at my math homework, and, you go down the rabbit hole, which I'm sure we've all done on the internet, and they're not doing their work when they should be. And like I said, I'm not that concerned about my son, but there's a whole level of students in there, and I see it a lot. I'll see all the time parents online complaining that they can't help their kids with homework. Most of them can't do the work to begin with, which is understandable. Most people, maybe they didn't take algebra or even calculus or geometry. To them, for a parent who wants to help, can't sit down with their child and help them because they have absolutely no way of understanding what's going on.
And that was never the intent of any
Right.
of those programs. When we looked at them, they had like a component that would help. I know that we bought Algebra 2 books last year, even though math wasn't in the cycle, because it came that they needed them. So there has to be a breakdown somewhere. We need to find that out.
And there are resources for parents. We did try to present them to them, but parents are busy, it's difficult to.
Yeah, well, I also think that, you should be able
Running in six
to,
different directions.
yeah, I don't want to have to sit down and help him with his homework every night. I don't think I should have to. I think it's his responsibility. That's teaching him what he should have to do. But I can't say to him, read over this chapter and figure it out.
Correct.
I have to sit down, do a little bit of Googling to refresh my memory, and then try to explain it to him. And like I said, I don't know if I'm explaining to him the way the teacher did, and, and that sort of thing.
If you don't mind following up with us after the meeting, give us a call tomorrow if you want to have a discussion with us. We'll be more than happy to.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, number 11 is the enrollment there for you to look at. Number 12, could I have a motion for the district comprehensive plan, please?
I move that the board approve the district level comprehensive plan for 3 years starting July 1st, 2019 through June 30th, 2022.
I'll second that.
Motion was made by Mr. Gershi and then seconded by Mr. Hoke. Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. And any abstaining? The motion does pass. Could we have a motion for number 13, please? I make a motion that the Board of Education approve the revision of the following policies. The 100 programs. We have 103 for non-discrimination in school and classroom practices. We have 103.1, which is non-discrimination for qualified students with disabilities. 104 is non-discrimination in employment and contract practices. 200 is pupils for 239 foreign exchange students, 300 employees. We have 311 reduction to staff, and 600 is finances, which is 626.5 is the federal programs procurement, and then 800 is operations with 808 as food services.
I'll second it.
Motion was made by myself and then seconded by Mr. Hoke. Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. And any abstaining? The motion does pass. We have a motion for number 14, please.
I recommend that the Board of Education approve the revision to the procurement plan for obtaining items for use in the child nutrition program.
The second.
The motion was made by Mr. Auckland and then seconded by Mr. Gambita. Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say no. And any abstaining? The motion does pass. A motion for number 15, please.
I recommend the Board of Education approve the following memorandum of understanding between Western Wayne School District and the Western Wayne Education Support Professionals Association. A, floater, custodian, worker.
Seconded.
Motion was made by Mr. Hulk and then seconded by Mr. Hershey. Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say no.
No.
Any abstaining? The motion does pass. Could I have a motion for number 16, please?
I move that the Board of Education approve the following from the list of Western Wayne School District transportation drivers and substitutes for the listed contractors for the 2018-19 school year as follows, contingent upon receipt of necessary paperwork. A is contractor Jennifer Pappas, drivers Kim Blatz and Kayla Drake. B is contractor Wilmer Transportation LLC, drivers Allison Wilmer.
Second.
Motion was made by Mr. Gambita and then seconded by Mr. Hershey. Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say no. Any abstaining? The motion does pass. Could I have a motion for number 17, please?
I recommend the Board of Education approve the following transportation contract change to State Formula for the 2018-19 school year. Contractor Henry Busling, Grand Eagle 128, Lake Area to NIU Learning Campus, effective October 16, 2018.
I'll second that.
Motion is made by Mr. Auckland and then seconded by Mr. Hope. Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say no. And any abstaining? The motion does pass. A motion for 18, please.
I move that the Board of Education approve the following new transportation contract at State Formula for the 2018-2019 school year. A, contractor Henwood Busing, Band 73, Lake Ariel to Alternative Learning Center, Plains, effective October 25th, 2018.
Second.
Sorry, who's seconding? Sorry. Mr. Gogolski. The motion was made by Mr. Wood and then seconded by Mr. Gogolski. Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say no. And any abstaining? The motion does pass. A motion for 19, please.
I recommend that the Board of Education approve an agreement between Western Wayne School District and Luzerne IU number 18 at a rate of $130.20 per day per pupil effective July 1st, 2018 through June 30th, 2019.
Second.
The motion was made by Mr. Gogolski and then seconded by Mr. Gambito. Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say no. Any abstaining? The motion does pass. A motion for number 20, please.
I recommend the Board of Education approve an agreement between Western Wayne School District and Marquis Scranton School at a rate of $165 per day, effective August 1st, 2018 through June 24th, 2019.
Second.
The motion was made by Mr. Hoke and then seconded by Mr. Hershey. Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say no. Any abstaining? The motion does pass. A motion for 21, please.
Recommend the Board of Education approve the listed facility use request for 2018-2019 school year with the understanding that the buildings are unavailable if the school is closed for weather, other emergencies, or holidays. A, Evergreen Elementary, North Oklahoma Preschool, Hammond, Lee Baptist School Care, Gail Skeleton Director. B, Robert E. Wilson Elementary, ages and stages school or age enrichment program, Luann D. Police Director.
I'll second.
The motion was made by Mr. Ensel and then seconded by Mr. Wood. Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. And any abstaining? The motion does pass. A motion for 22, please.
I recommend that the Board of Education approve the listed facility use request for 2018-19 school year with understanding that the building are unavailable if the school is closed for weather, other emergencies, or holidays. Evergreen Elementary, North Oakland Preschool, Hammond.
We just did that one. Could you do the next one? We're on the, I'm sorry, the Shepherd Roads.
Oh my God.
Sorry.
Sorry. I recommend that the Board of Education approve the following overnight trip to Champions National Honor Society of Boston, Massachusetts, August 21st, 23rd. exceed 70 students, five chaperones. Student-funded trip, of course, is $14.25. Substitutes, chaperones, Kendra Lyman, Greg Butler, Tim McClure, Steve Gorski, and Cheryl Jones.
I'll second it.
Motion was made by Mr. Auckland and then seconded by Mr. Gershi. Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. And any abstaining? The motion does pass. Could we have a motion for 23 for the expulsion, please?
I move that the Board of Education adopt the proposed waiver of expulsion hearing and stipulation relating to the following student, thereby excluding the student from Western Maine School District in accordance with the terms thereof. A, student number 01-1819.
Second it.
Motion was made by Mr. Gugolski and then seconded by Mr. Hook. Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. And any abstaining? The motion does pass.
Can I ask a question? When you ask a question and comments, are you asking board members, or is it something I can ask a question on?
Well, that one, we cannot, but
It's
I mean,
for board members.
it's board members usually.
Okay. So just for my purposes, if there's not a lot of information in these sheets about what you're talking about. Is that just all stuff that's gone over in the work sessions?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Number 24, personnel. Could I please have a motion for 24A?
I move that the Board of Education approve the following personnel to be added to the district substitute list for the 2018-19 school year per certification. Act 24, 34, 151, 114, 153, 168 guidelines, employment eligibility verification, U.S. Department of Justice as listed.
Motion was made by Mr. Gershi and then seconded by Mr. Wood. Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. And any abstaining? The motion does pass. Could I please have a motion for 24B, please?
I recommend that the Board of Education accept the resignation of Sandra Summers as English Department Co-Chair effective November 5, 2018.
Second.
Motion was made by Mr. Schaefer and then seconded by Mr. Bogolski. Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. And any abstaining? The motion does pass. Could I have a motion for 24C, please?
Recommend that the Board of Education adjust Mary Ann Morgan as sole English Department Chairperson effective November 5, 2018, for the remainder of the 2018-2019 school year at a prorated salary of $1,645.52.
I'll second that.
Motion was made by Mr. Enslin and then seconded by Mr. Hoke. Any questions or comments? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. And any abstaining? The motion does pass. Could I have a motion for 24D, please?
I recommend the Board of Education adjust the hourly per diem rates effective December 1st, 2018 for the 2018-19 school year as follows. Substitute teachers $120 per diem, and guest teachers also $120 per diem.
Joe, Mr. Gambito. The motion was made by Mr. Hoke and then seconded by Mr. Gambito.